We're going to take another phone call, but first it's time to check in with Dr. John Nelson, the curator and director of the A.C. Moore Bearman at University of South Carolina. Dr. John, how you been doing?
I've been doing very well, Rowland, and hope you have been as well.
Well, I have, and I imagine with the kids back in school, you all been busy in the classroom and outside, and you're coming up with some unusual plants for us to identify better.
But all the students are back and there's nowhere to park out there. But yeah, we are still finding some very interesting plants, not only out in the boonies, but here on campus. And so I want to share with our viewers a plant that has shown up very recently on campus, and I can't explain really how it got there, other than it's a very curious incident. And this is a plant that is a kind of a fern. It's a very primitive kind of fern that was around during the time of the dinosaurs. So it's something of a living fossil. And 410 million years ago, they say, was when it first appeared in the fossil record. And it's still around. It grows quite well. You can find this in mostly the warmer parts of the world, and frequently in places like Florida or southern Texas. And sometimes it's been a weed of greenhouses. And then I understand that it's a plant that is interesting enough that they've developed some cultivars of it.
It is a most unusual looking plant.
Doesn't have any roots, doesn't have any leaves, has no flowers, and doesn't have any seeds.
Okay, what does it have?
Well, let me say one other thing about this. Is quite curious, is that it's a plant that forks when it branches. So this is one of its most obvious characteristics morphologically, and that it forms sort of, think of a series of Ys whenever it branches. And most plants don't do that. And it does look like it might be part of a whisk broom, and it is a kind of a fern.
Okay, he's good at giving clues.
Yeah. So it's either whisk broom fern or
fork fern.
or forked fern.
Evidently it is a fern.
It's a kind of fern. That's what the botanists pretty much agree on now.
Okay, that's an unusual fern.
Let's call it broom fern. Let's try that.
That's a good name.
But that's not the right name.
Of course, we can use that name just as well as any other name. But most people call this thing, when you see it listed, the common name is whisk fern.
Whisk fern, okay.
Now, where would whisk come from?
Like a whisk, a little, whisk broom, like you brush your coat off before you go to church on Sunday.
Yeah, it's a wiry little thing.
Yeah.
Well, where do you think it came from? Do you think somebody had one in an arrangement and just dumped it out? One of the children dumped it out when she went home for the summer? Or?
This stuff used to grow in our greenhouse.
Oh.
We had several pots full of it.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. Maybe it had something to do with some of that stuff being moved. But the place, this isn't really close to the greenhouse that I'm thinking of, so I'm not really sure if that's it at all. And it might be that it's just it's a weed. Maybe it's becoming more of a weed with this potential climate change business. Who knows? We'll have to keep watching it.
Is it evergreen? Is it green right now, or is that an old picture?
That was taken just last week.
Cool. Well, it's a pretty little thing.
And it was right before that we had some pretty serious cold.
Yeah.
I don't know. I haven't walked back over there to see what it looks like since then.
Well, give us an update next week on how it came through that one cold night.
But it's pretty stuff, and it might be kind of fun to grow.
How does it propagate?
Well, it makes spores, just like a fern.
Okay.
And so it has a pretty long part of its life cycle is devoted to the underground stage, which doesn't look like a fern at all. But then the above ground part comes up. That's more of a whiskery looking sort of thing.
Okay, Dr. John, we appreciate it. And I know we have viewers that like to find out more about the bearman. I understand y'all got a very good website. Go ahead and give it to us.
Okay, well, we have this pretty cool website. And it's www.herbarium.org, and it explains a lot of the activities that that we've gotten ourselves into, and it also explains how we identify plants for people for free. So once again, this growing season coming up, we'll be happy to look at plants that people might want to send in either as specimens or as a photograph to us, and we'll be happy to identify them for free. We'd also like to, if anybody would like to have it, send a paper copy of our recent newsletter that's ready to go out. I've been distributing those, but I still have plenty left if you'd like to have one. Send me your address, though. I'll need that.
Very good. Thank you once again, Dr. John Nelson, the curator and director of the A.C. Moore Babbitt University, South Carolina. What a tremendous job he does for gardeners, farmers, and anybody who has a plant, including county extension agents that they can't identify.
You know, and when we're going to tell somebody to put a herbicide out, we need to know exactly what plant we're dealing with, and he has been a great help to us.